Okay.
You said the streaming. All right, this is Clayton County preliminary hearing calendar. Today's date is April 29th, 2026. This is State of Georgia versus Cena Bow, warrant number 2026, WA 06435, 436, 437, and 438. All parties are present and have announced ready to proceed. You can present the state's case.
Thank you, Your Honor. Also, can I get you to raise your right hand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the evidence you should give before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Put your hand down, state your name for the record.
Officer Julian Brown with the Forest Park Police Department.
And Officer Brown, were you so employed on or about April the 3rd of 2026?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you have occasion to investigate something that occurred at 11 Forest Parkway?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that within the confines of the city of Forest Park, Clayton County?
Yes, ma'am.
And did that incident involve Shea Boo?
Yes,
Sheila
ma'am.
Boo? Could you please explain to the court what happened at that location on this date involving Miss Boo?
Yes. On April 3rd, approximately around 7:30 hours, somewhere around that time frame, I observed Mr. Boo along with Miss I believe her Miss Dolores, whatever I became Freeman, I believe. They were both sitting inside of a 2007 blue Toyota Camry parked in front of the Forest Parkway Bottle Shop, um, outside of his normal business hours. I was sitting in the parking lot, conducting a property check. I sat there for 10 minutes before I even engaged the vehicle. I noticed there were two occupants inside of the vehicle. What raised the alarming of suspicion was that the business does not open until 10 o'clock, and they had been sitting in the parking lot in front
Let
of
me
the
slow you
business.
down for a second. What time of day was this?
This was at 7:30 in the morning,
And what time does the business open?
10 a.m.
Okay. Please continue.
Yes, ma'am. And the business that is located next to it has been known to have been burglarized, as well as there are several different 24-hour spots that are surrounding the area, which is the QT, the BP, and the Shell gas station that allows people to sit in the safe spaces there, as well as a quick trip that's down the road and on Old Dixie. So based upon my observation, I initiated contact with the vehicle, where I observed Mr. Bowe sitting inside of the driver's seat as well as Miss Freeman sitting in the passenger seat. I asked them what they were doing. They said they was waiting to cash their check at the Parkway Bottle Shop. I advised him that the business is not open till 10 o'clock, and because he was sitting in the driver's seat playing a video game. I asked Mr. Bo if he had any type of identification on him. He advised me no, he did not have any identification on him. I proceeded to ask him for his first name and last name and date of birth. He provided me a first name, last name, and date of birth, and Miss Freeman did as well. I know Miss Freeman provided me with a identification card. I went back to run a search. I conducted a search of Mr. Bowe through GCIC and CIC. The results came back, but the picture that showed up was not Mr. Bowe. Um, and I was able to identify that by several different factors. The tattoos that he has was very specific to the tattoo that he has on his neck, as well as different other facial features and that he has. So when I returned back to the vehicle, I explained to Mr. Bowe, based upon my observation, this is not you. Who are you? So Mr. Bowe then proceeded to provide me with his correct name and date of birth. I then went back and ran that information. What came back is that he had an active warrant for his arrest, I believe, out of Clayton County. So, um, and then Miss Freeman as well. She provided a false identification. The picture and identification didn't match her as well. She proceeded to give me two false names, and which ended up ultimately leading, based upon his warrant and her obstruction, and his obstruction led to their detainment, which placed him in custody for those specific charges. Um, an incident arrest, and as well as conducting an inventory of the vehicle. While trying to conduct an inventory of the vehicle, I observed there was a handgun in the center console, as well as there was a um, drug-related crack pipe that was a drug-related object inside on the back seat of the floor.
Let me stop you for 1 second.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
say you describe an object as a crack pipe. What are we looking at? If
I'm
I'm
sorry.
looking at the same, what do I see?
I'm sorry. You're going to see a glass tube. It's going to have like a little bubble at the bottom of it with a little opening in it. And there is going to be some form of white crusted residue inside of it. Kind of a crystally white powdery substance. So it's a long tube with a bubble on the end of it with a little circle on the bubble. And it's
Have
going to
you
have,
seen an object like that before?
yes, ma'am, I have.
And when you've seen this object previously, what was it in connection to, or what was it for?
Used to smoke scheduled substance drugs, used to inhale or smoke uh crack cocaine. Um that's based upon my training knowledge and experience.
Okay. And you said it was on the back seat on the floor.
Yes, ma'am.
Did anyone, did either Mr. Boo or his passenger claim ownership of the object?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Boo did.
Okay. Um, I hate to do this. I'm gonna backtrack almost to the beginning.
Yes, ma'am.
You indicated it was sitting outside of the package store waiting on it to open, which would have been in 2.5 hours later, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
But you indicated something about a business next to the package store. What business was this?
This is the Gandhi Wholesale.
When you say wholesale, what is it? What does it sell? What is it?
They sell there's a smoke shop. They sell different vapes. They sell wholesale packages of vapes and vape substances, and wholesale packages that go inside of it used for also for hookahs, things of that sort.
Vape shop supply.
Yes, ma'am.
They've had problems with being burglarized and what have you.
Yes, ma'am.
Was where Mr. Boo and Ms. Freeman parked within proximity of this business also?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's come back up. Fast forward to the front.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Boo has provided you with a license with information that was incorrect regarding
Yes.
his identity.
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
Did he ever acknowledge who he truly was?
Yes, ma'am. He did. After
What did he do?
only after I confronted him about my observations of the tattoo, the facial features, the scarrings. He then proceeded to go ahead and give me his correct first name and last name.
Did he provide you with a false ID or he just gave you incorrect information?
He gave me incorrect information. He gave me incorrect first name, last name, and date of birth. He gave me
Okay.
the first name, last name, and date of birth of his brother.
Oh, okay. Did he indicate to you that that was actually his brother's information?
Yes, ma'am, he did.
Okay. Now you have him charged with violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. Where did you find the drug?
The drug was so that particular drug was which was the THC vape that was located inside of Mrs. Freeman's purse. She had the purse on her at the time of the detainment. When her purse was searched to go with her for property, she when the substance was found, he came and said that, hey, no, that's not hers, that's mine. I gave it to her when she got in the vehicle and had her hold on to it for me. This was all said by him read under Miranda rights.
So
He
you
was
indicated
Miranda.
if I'm understanding you correctly, you read him Miranda, and then after that is when he voluntarily told you all that he claimed possession of the object of the item.
That is correct.
Let me ask you something. Were you equipped with body cam or any other type of recording device that day?
Yes, ma'am.
Did it capture pretty much what we've been talking about?
Yes, ma'am. It captured the whole entire investigation.
Did it capture him claiming ownership of the vape pen?
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
Did it capture him giving you false information?
Yes, ma'am. It did.
Okay. Does it capture you walking up to them before you initially made contact with them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I think I stopped you in the middle. You were explaining something. Were you able to complete your statement?
I think so. I think Yes, I think I completed everything. He was Mirandaized when investigated about the handgun that was found in the vehicle, the THC that he admitted to taking ownership of. Also, I did do a drug test um, on the drug related object. It was tested and it did test positive blue for the scheduled substance drug.
Which scheduled substance drug?
The crack cocaine.
Okay. But no crack cocaine was actually found, just the residue on the pipe.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I believe that's all I have of the officer. Oh, one more thing. Officer, are you able to see everybody in court? If you can't, that's fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you see the person we've been talking about present in court today?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Can you describe him by physical appearance or article of clothing?
Yes, ma'am. He's dressed in a orange jumpsuit. He has his hair in a ponytail. He has tattoos on both his right and left forearm as well as his neck.
Okay. I believe that's all I have reserved right for redirect.
All right. Attorney Lewis, you're needed in the breakout room. All right, Mr. Rogers.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge. Let's see, Officer Brown, are you the only officer on this case?
I was a primary officer, but I was assisted by other officers at the time of the stop.
Are you the one that initiates the contact?
Yes, sir, I am.
And if I'm following, well, let me make sure I'm clear about what time of day is this when you make contact?
This is 7:30 in the morning.
Is it daylight at that point?
Yes, sir.
And if I'm following Mr. Bowers he's in a parking lot on private property?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Had you received any sort of calls or anything about the vehicle or any sort of activity or anything there?
No, sir.
And no alarms or anything like that?
No, sir.
And let me ask, because I wasn't sure. It seemed like you were somewhere, I guess, and kind of stationary yourself for a little while. Did I understand that correctly?
Yes, sir. I was stationary in the exact same parking lot as him. I went through the Gandhi Wholesale. I was checking the businesses, checking the property, came down the hill, noticed the vehicle, and then I parked where my vehicle has a direct view of them, where my camera of my vehicle can be seen showing, seeing that vehicle as well.
Gotcha. So just so I'm clear, they were there when you got to your location. They were already parked there.
They was already parked there when I arrived.
And I guess, well, let me ask, and I know you can't say maybe with 100% certainty, but the way you were positioned, would they have been able to see your vehicle?
Yes, sir.
And nobody took flight or anything like that, or even just tried to leave or anything at that point?
No, sir.
And if I'm following, they're in the parking lot of, I think called a bottle shop. We're talking about a liquor store. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, sir. Or more so of it's called Parkway Bottle, but it's like a liquor store, convenience store.
And if I understand, when you make contact with Mr. Bow, who said specifically? Do you recall exactly which one told you that they were there to cash a check?
He told me that.
Okay. Can you cash checks at that store once it's open? The liquor store? Do they have a?
That I'm not too certain of. The only one that I know you can cash check on is located on Jonesboro Road.
And when you say the only one, are you talking about like the liquor store? Is that what you mean?
Yes, sir.
And I know you mentioned there was some, I think you said like 24-hour places around like a Quick Trip, and I'm not sure what else, but I remember saying Quick Trip.
Yes, sir.
To your knowledge, can you cash checks at the Quick Trip?
No, sir.
And I guess if I'm following, you make contact, you walk over to the vehicle at some point, like to go to the window, or how does that part go?
Yes, sir. I approached the vehicle from the driver's side.
Did you see any sort of contraband or anything in plain view at that point?
No, sir, I did not.
And then if I'm following, I guess and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm just gonna kind of summarize what I understand the conversation to be. You make contact, ask him why he's there. He says the part about the check cashing, and then you ask for some sort of ID or something like that. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
And at that point, he gives you a name that comes back. Well, he gives you info that comes back to a different person.
That is correct. His brother.
And well, I guess just so I'm clear, then, so the basis of the arrest ultimately comes down to what exactly? Like, what's the original reason that he's taken into custody?
The original reason was for the obstruction,
Regarding the false info.
false name, date of birth.
And we'll kind of jump ahead now to there was some discussion about, I guess, drug testing done. If I follow the drug related object was, I guess, tested or swabbed or something like that. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir. Yes, sir.
What about I think it was a vape pen. What about that? Was there any testing?
No, sir. What it was is I found the brand of the THC vape pen as well on the website that matched the exact description and the exact brand and the exact model of that specific THC vape, which then indicated what its contents consisted of, which showed that it was that of a scheduled substance, which had showed the amount of the THC levels as well as the mixtures that was within inside of it.
Do you recall whether or not there was actually any sort of fluid or anything inside of it?
Yes, sir. There was. I do recall there being some of the oil that was still inside of the pen.
But just so I'm clear, so your basis for the identification on that is what you found on the internet, not a field test, right?
That is correct.
Let's see. I think that may be that'd be the extent of my questions, Judge. No further questions at the moment.
All right, any redirect?
No redirect, Your Honor.
Any other witnesses or evidence?
Not at this time.
Any evidence or witnesses on behalf of the defendant?
No, ma'am, just argument, Judge.
All right, Ms. Thomas?
I'll reserve, Your Honor.
And Judge, I'm gonna start off with asking for the dismissal of the loitering or problem. And I guess it kind of would be related, would be the false name. The reason I take issue with the loitering or problem is that involves somebody, doing something, being somewhere at a place and behaving in a manner that would, raise suspicions in a reasonable person. All we have is Mr. Bow being present at what essentially, and I understand the officer couldn't say for sure, but I'll speak from my personal experience of being in liquor stores before, back in my day. You can often cash checks in a liquor store. The reason I mention that is because his explanation of being there to cash a check is not unreasonable. And that's why I asked about the 24-hour places located around that the officer had mentioned, because I understand where the officer was coming from. But once we understand what the purpose of being there is, things get a little bit different. He couldn't have cashed a check at those other places, as far as I know. So he's provided a lawful reason for being at the location. Yeah, he's there early, but I don't know of anything that makes it unlawful to be somewhere early, just in and of itself. And that's why I asked, about whether or not it's daylight, there's any alarms, calls, any sort of suspicious activity other than merely being present. None of that's being alleged here, Judge. He's just at a check cashing spot, possibly saying that he's there to cash a check. Like I said, he's there early, not a problem. The absent any other sort of behavior, they didn't take flight, they didn't try to distanced themselves from the vehicle upon the officer's arrival. There's no allegation that they tried to enter the business, had some sort of criminal trespass been received, or anything like that. He's on private property. There's no allegation that they saw him driving. So you don't need a license or anything like that to sit there. The fact of him not having a license is not a problem, or not providing an ID. And so that gets to the point of when we talk about giving false names and things of that nature, that charge kind of starts from the assumption that the officer has a lawful basis to that info. Under the circumstances, there was no articulable suspicion of him doing anything wrong after the conversation about the check. So for those reasons, I'll say that at that point, the officer's not engaged in any sort of lawful duty that would mandate him to give him any info. So for those reasons, Judge, I'd ask for a dismissal of both of those charges, and I'll submit on the rest.
All right, ADA Thomas.
Judge, I'm gonna have to rely on my personal experiences also on this one. When the officer indicated that his concern was because of the next door business had problems, that name rang a bell, which is why I asked him for a little bit more information. I'm sort of familiar with that spot too, but in a professional capacity, because I believe I received at least 2 different cases for exactly what the officer's concern was. That location is a subject of criminal activity, and I do understand his concern. Now, had this gentleman just said, we're here for the vape shop, we're here to cash checks at the liquor store, and the officer asked him for his information, give correct information, he's on his way. That's it. I also understand that he has a right to not give him any information at all. And that might have been the end of the story. That's it. But what he opted to do was to, first of all, be untruthful. So if the officer also has suspicions that they're here for an unlawful purpose, that kind of ratchets it up to a whole nother level. And from him being untruthful, the officer has to determine what the correct information is, during which we go downhill to where we are today. Based on the officer's testimony this morning, I think the state has presented enough for this case to be transferred in its entirety to the Superior Court of Clayton County.
All right, after hearing evidence and testimony, I agree with you, Mr. Rogers. So I'm going to dismiss the loitering and the giving false name charge, and I'm going to bind over the violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act charge and the drug-related objects charge. This matter is adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right,
Officer,
you're
you're free to go. That's your last one.
All right, what case did you want to do next?
Travion Boyd.
All right.